Back from vacation. It was a good, nice, long week out on the lake. Got a tan, did some kayaking and boating, caught some fish. Let's check in on the news on what I missed. Oh my God, we traded Jared McCann! Why? I'm so mad about this. Also, RMU hockey may get reinstated. That was the other big news. Go check out Colonial Sports Network for that. But this is what I'm focused on right now. I have this for a reason, because this, it's related. Leafs. Let's see if I can do the pose here. Jared McCann had one of the best seasons of his career last year in 43 games. He had 32 points. He was either tied or led the Penguins in power play goals. Was a perfect replacement for Evgeny Malkin, who, let me remind you, will miss the start of next season with an injury. So put McCann on that power play until he gets back. No, instead, we are going to expose him to Seattle. Oh, wait, we're not. We think that's a bad idea. Okay, so maybe flip him for Carter. No, we're going to trade him for a 7th rounder and a prospect that we already had. I'm very mad about this trade because Jared McCann had the potential to become a perfect complementary winger and forward in the bottom 6, maybe even in small bursts in the top 6 with the Penguins. But instead, you trade him and you waste him for nothing. This reminds me a lot of Dominic Cahoon, another player I think the Penguins just straight up wasted. However, McCann I thought was the better player. Jared McCann's a former first-round draft pick. He is still stupidly young. He's only 25, okay? And he's already been on 4 teams. And I feel bad for the guy because he's the next Max Domi or the next even Alex Galchenyuk, who's just going to get traded so many goddamn times that it's going to be terrible for his development. He finally was starting to find a perfect home in Pittsburgh. On the second power play unit and on the first power play unit with injuries, he was playing perfectly with freaking the line last year was Jared McCann, Jeff Carter, and Frederick Gaudreau. That was an amazing line. No one expected that. No one expected Jeff Carter or Frederick Gaudreau to come to the Penguins. I wanted Jared McCann to be our center. It's okay, he moved to wing, but it's not okay that this trade happened. Let's go over the actual trade. Jared McCann goes to Toronto, which I hate because I'm not a huge fan of Toronto just because I think they get overexposed in the media, and I think it's hilarious that they never get past, the first round of the playoffs. Jared McCann has 0 playoff points in his entire career, so will fit in perfectly there. In exchange for Philip Hollander, another player did Jim Rutherford sneak into the office? Because this is the 3rd time that a Penguin has been traded to Toronto and then reacquired. Philip Hollander, Evan Rodriguez, and Kasperi Kapanen. I may be doing a Phil Kessel, Kasperi Kapanen trade tree, but it's going to be the most confusing thing in the entire world because players are coming back. It's ridiculous. It's a Jim Rutherford move. What is Ron Hextall? This is the first trade Ron Hextall's made outside of Jeff Carter. This is the first real trade that he's made, in the offseason, analytical. And it is because of this, which we'll get to later. But the trade is Philip Hollander and a 2023 seventh rounder. It's not even like this year or next year. It's a 2023. The Penguins do, I guess, get 2.9 in cap space. Woohoo, whoop-de-doo. Go sign Ovechkin. Jared McCann was a former Sioux Greyhound, the Kyle Dubas connection there. He was not protected for Seattle for the Penguins, which is why this trade happened. But he's not going to be protected either for the Leafs. The Leafs are going with 4 forwards, 4 defensemen, and a goalie. Their 4 forwards are Marner, Matthews, Tavares, and Nylander. Kerfoot may be the biggest option there for Seattle. What if the Penguins actually are better off in this trade and they do get something for McCann, even though they shouldn't have exposed him in the first place? Because let's just go over this now. The Penguins protected on the forward end the 4 guys that we knew: Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, Rust. Okay, Kapanen you can throw in there as well. There's 5. Bluger just signed that new contract. Pretty safe to say that he was getting protected as well, and he did. That leaves Tanev, Zach Aston-Reese, Jason Zucker, McCann at the time, and Jeff Carter. And the Penguins decided to protect, and this is no offense to Jeff Carter, an aging forward who I think is 36, has 1 year left before he likely retires or heads back to the LA Kings. While he was amazing last year, I don't think Seattle would want to take him, despite, his salary is retained. but it just doesn't make any sense for them to take Jeff Carter. So I think it would have been safe to expose him and keep the 25-year-old elite scoring, not elite, but great power play scorer. He had 32 points. That is 74 points in an 82-game schedule. Will he do that again? I don't know. Probably not. But still, he had a great year. Wasted potential in Pittsburgh. And Philip Hollander, let's go over him because he better turn into something. He was a former second-round pick by the Penguins, and I forget, but he's the same age as me. He's 21. He's playing in the Swedish league right now. Last season, he had 13 goals, 11 assists, and 24 points in 51 games. Not bad. According to, Pennsburg, elite prospects, all these statistical things, it's looking like he's going to be a third liner in the NHL, if not a really good fourth liner. I think Jared McCann's better than that. I think Jared McCann is a really good third liner, maybe a good second liner. Instead, you get a third and a fourth liner from a second and a third liner. I'm mad. I'm very mad about this trade. I even said on Twitter this is one of the worst trades in Penguins history because it's so just... It doesn't happen if Seattle's not here. Protecting Jeff Carter over Jared McCann is stupid. It's just stupid. And now the Penguins might lose Zucker or Pettersson or Tanev or Zach Aston-Reese. It's one of or Casey DeSmith, which, if I had a preference, it would be Pettersson or Zucker. But that's a different video. Let me know your thoughts. I know we were big fans of McCann on this channel. Every time he scored, I would be so happy. And, Blit Blue is one of my, subscribers that always comments McCann. I'm McCann's #1 fans. And I talked to him on Twitter. He just bought a McCann jersey, and I feel so bad for him. He was an RFA. McCann has 1 year left on his contract. He'll be an RFA next season with either the Leafs or maybe the Kraken. What if he goes to the Kraken and the Penguins trade Hollander in that 7th back for McCann? It's annoying. I love Jared McCann. He was a great guy. He was a great player. Had the potential to become a good forward for the Penguins, but instead he's off to Toronto. Whatever.